Hey, what's going on, folks? How's your Saturday evening going so far? Mine is going pretty good. I just got in the house not too long ago. I had to pick up some new work clothes and such. Put gas in my sister's car, which I borrowed earlier today, to get these work clothes and a couple other things there. I start my work week again tomorrow. And of course, I'll be working till about 8 p.m., except for tomorrow night, which I get off at 10 p.m. I've been trying to get a hold of my co-host, Arcnolia Storkobean, for a while now, seeing about possibly we could do possibly a makeup show for the 5 shows that we were not able to do due to my work schedule this past week. I have yet to hear anything from him as of late, so hopefully I'll be able to contact him when I get done tomorrow. I know he mentioned earlier this week about not being able to stay up too late there, so we'll have to wait and see what goes on. I don't want to end Arcnolia and the Doctor anytime soon. We're having a grand old time doing the shows that we're doing, and I like working with him. I like, doing programs with him. He's a great person to get along with, Yeah, but then I know he's going to probably be thinking, well, damn it, Earl, he's always working all the time. Yeah, but then again, you got to remember, I've been out of work for so many months, and I don't want to go back to that spot ever again. I still have not forgotten the year 2012, where I was unemployed that whole exact year and only earning so-and-so amount of money through the unemployment agency back in Michigan at that time. At one point, I was only earning about $238 bi-weekly. That's how bad the state of Michigan was at that time. Another reason why I don't regret leaving that stupid state. So, Arcnolia, if you're watching, get a hold of me tomorrow if you can. See if we can still do some shows together. I did suggest, doing it late at night. Well, not exactly late, probably around 9:30 or 10 p.m. Central Time here. But if he's unable to stay up that late, I have to respect that wish there. All right. So, on to the main subject. Now, every wrestling fan out there knows that earlier this week we have lost Pat Patterson, who was considered a WWE legend. He was closely with Vince McMahon. He was also part of 2 McMahon's henchmen during the Attitude Era, alongside Jack Briscoe. I think was it Jack or Jerry Briscoe? I'm not too sure. I kind of forgot there for a second there. If anybody knows, feel free to let me know in the comments section below. Pat Patterson, as you know, died this week, as I mentioned. Of course, this past SmackDown, they had a little tribute to him. I guess it was towards the end or the beginning there. I wasn't paying attention, so I'm not too sure when that happened there. But one of the first things that came to my mind when I heard about Pat Patterson's death is what is going through the mind now of Eddie Mansfield. Now, for those who do not know the name Eddie Mansfield, back in 1985, during a report for the ABC News program 2020, Mansfield did an interview with their correspondent, John Stossel. And he not only exposed the business, blading, the routines of throwing someone on over your shoulder and stuff, he basically demonstrated everything. Told how fake it is, how set up the moves are, so that way it looks real, but it's not. And for many years, he was resented and hated by many wrestling companies around the world, including the WWF at that time. Well, of course, especially the WWF. And apparently the reason why he was disgruntled was because he was involved with the WWF. And apparently, according to Mansfield, one of the executives was gay and wanted to sleep with him. Mansfield said, "No, I will not do that." Soon, right away, Mansfield lost his contract and everything else. And I guess what I remember hearing from the report, he even lost his home and a couple other things as well. Years later, we find out about the WWE sex scandal around 1992-93. And this was prior to the steroid scandal that, of course, landed Vince McMahon on trial there in 1994, in which he was found not guilty of. Now, there was a lot of reports, that some sort of shady shenanigans were going on behind the scenes of the WWF. In fact, Rita Marie, as I remember, she was known as, she was the first female referee for the WWF. She admitted that she had to file a lawsuit against McMahon because he was making sexual advantages towards her. And knowing that McMahon has had a hack for hitting up on other women and sleeping with them as well. He says he is not proud of it in a 1997 interview, but then again, he should have realized that, hey, he's a married man. He has a lovely wife named Linda, who, worked in the White House, taking care of small businesses under the Trump administration. He should have known better. Now, switch years after that, we had the WWE Network and a reality show called House of Legends or Legends House. It all depends on which title both the company and the fans choose to use. It was a reality show featuring Howard Finkel, their old announcer, who also passed away as well. Tony Atlas, Mr. USA, Roddy Piper, Hillbilly Jim, and I guess Hacksaw Jim Duggan was involved just as well. It was like their version of Big Brother and a surreal life without all the, of course, one person has to leave or one person has to be voted out, that kind of jazz there. It was during the final episode of that series that Pat Patterson admitted that he was gay, that he lost his partner to cancer a couple years earlier. Now, when you put all the pieces together, it kind of does make a lot of sense. Amidst a lot of shady reports going on about Patterson's doings within that company, mixed in with the world reports that Eddie Mansfield had laid on to us back in 1985. It kind of like it makes a lot of sense. There were a lot of people who were disgruntled at the WWF, because of shit like this happening. And sadly, it's painful to see the WWE or WWF fall into that same category as with the likes of Harvey Weinstein and all these other movie producers, record producers, trying to get the female artists to sleep with them or this and that, sleep with me and I'll make you a star. You may remember that singer Kesha, she filed a lawsuit against her producer, Dr. Luke, for sexually harassing her continuously. She tried to get off her deal with Arista Records, if you remember, which she sadly lost. We haven't heard from her as of much for the past couple of years. But then again, we haven't heard anything from Dr. Luke just as well. So his reputation is now down the shitter. Now, we recognize Pat Patterson for his wrestling abilities, but you cannot help but look at the mess that came about, as I mentioned, the sex scandal from the early 1990s. It's hard to not think about Patterson without talking about that. So it is kind of it's kind of like being on the fence when you look at it there. That's how I feel at this moment. I mean, like, yeah, he was a legend, but considering what he put those other wrestlers, male or female, through, it's kind of hard, like I said moments ago, I'm on the fence on this here. I'm kind of in a puzzled state. I mean, but you know what? You have to give him his due. He was one of the prime wrestlers back in the era to be gay in a period where you were not supposed to be gay. Now, in the years since that, it was revealed that Chris Kanyon, rest in peace, was gay. Sonya Deville came out as a lesbian a couple years back, as we all know. Darren Young, who I guess is still involved with the WWE, he came out as gay a couple years back just as well. And of course, it was revealed that Kenny Omega from AEW is bisexual, as well as Paige. I guess, who knows, there are probably a couple others out there who are the same, who are still kind of scared to come out because of the profession that they are involved in. Since wrestling is supposed to be a whole he-man sport, tough, are you tough enough? We don't have no room for pussies or weenies here. Be a man and get in the ring and wrestle like a man. That's a perception that people often still have about pro wrestling. But we'll have to wait and see. As for Pat Patterson, well, I will say, rest in peace, man. You helped Vince McMahon, his wife Linda, and everybody else, including the Briscoe brothers, Jack and Jerry, Vince McMahon Sr. as well. You helped build the WWF, later become the WWE, into a massive success. We will say thank you, Pat, for all that you've done in and outside the ring. But as far as with the scandal that you were a big part of, going to have to make an exception on that. All right? That's all I'm going to say for the time being. I'm Dr. Earl. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Leave your comments below about this topic. And hit that like button, won't you? You guys have a good Saturday evening. Bye-bye.